Why?
Because I actually like our date. And I feel like I actually like you.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is, you know what time it is. Talking to you guys about Put a Ring in It, dealing with Ashley and Hollywood. And we're going to talk about the fact that Ashley is taking a full advantage of this process. Full advantage of this process. You understand? I love Ashley, but I got to tell the truth today. Guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the what up loads. We appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded. And for those of you who are returning as well, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. Oh, yes. All right, cool. Let's talk about it. Really, let's talk about it. Read all about it. All right, cool. So, dealing with Ashley and Hollywood, I think what's really interesting here is that, listen, Ashley is taking full advantage of this process, okay? Not only is she taking full advantage of this process, okay, part of her reason, I believe, just by listening to what she said, is to make Hollywood suffer. Now, I'm using that word suffer with a pinch of salt, okay?
Before. He doesn't get what I'm saying unless he has to feel it. So once he feels it, he's like, oh, I see what you mean. And I'm not trying to do it. I don't want to inflict that kind of pain. But now you understand what I was saying at the beginning when you were doing it to me.
I don't think she's purposely wanting him to feel a certain type of way, but I do feel that she wants to be able to let him know, listen, what you done in the past is create this kind of pain, right? Remember we heard her in the episodes earlier on where she said, he wanted this. He wanted to be able to date other people. Well, what she's doing right now is, listen, latte, you wanted to see, you wanted to know, you wanted to adhere to, you understand? Yeah? You wanted to adhere to the fact that we should date other people. Today's that day. No. Don't try to back up now. Don't try to back up on now. Don't try to go on like you cared now, Hollywood, because you wasn't saying that a couple of years ago. And now this is the get your own back. Oh, no, you don't want to date nobody. Oh, you ain't found someone that's interesting. That's your business. I'm going to enjoy. And in this season, I'm going to date. I'm not going to date well. And if it hurts you at this moment, fine. But I got to do it, right? But what's really interesting is the progression of Ashley. In the very beginning, remember the first date she went on, I guess obviously maybe she wasn't feeling them as tough as she was feeling Kwame, right? But you notice that she was a bit more, I would say, mindful of Hollywood's reaction. Yeah, she didn't want to go on a date because she also didn't want to make Hollywood feel a certain type of way, right? But she was willing to. She would have gone on a second date. Right, but both of them said at the very beginning, oh no, let's not do that. As the show has gone on and progressed, the confidence of Ashley has grown for her to now be in a position where she said, listen, actually, do you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to date and I'm going to date hard. I'm going to go hard at it, right? Because now the way she talks about the situation with it, going on her dates, you don't hear the apprehension anymore.
How did you feel you were treated on the date?
Oh, great. He always treats me like a perfect queen. You know, it was just easy.
You don't hear her trying to even mince her words. What did you hear? Did you hear her this time when she talked about Kwame? We had a great time. And what was interesting as well is that she spoke, and I think if she's honest with herself, I think she knew exactly what she was doing. She's a woman. She's smart. She knows what she's doing. But she was trying to get. I don't want to say get Hollywood riled up. I want to say that she wanted Hollywood to understand and feel what was coming his way, right? So when she made some emphasis on certain words, oh yeah, it was a great day. You know, he is a gentleman. Oh, he makes me feel like a queen. And the emphasis on those words, I think, were intentional for Hollywood. Right? And so you see Hollywood's reaction where he says, oh, but I've been doing this for 9 years. You know, I've been here.
Because I do all that after 9 years, still, and more. Anything that he's saying that he do, I do it 9 years later.
And so the frustration I can hear from Hollywood is that in the 9 years, obviously he spent time grooming, and I say grooming in a positive manner, not the bad way. He spent time, invested into the garden. He spent time watering, he spent time planting, he spent time nurturing, turning over the soil in a relationship, even though truly, obviously, he messed around in those 2 years where after the 5 years, those 2 years where he wasn't sure. You know, the first 5 he spent that time doing that, right? So he's saying the whole 9 years I've spent doing all this kind of stuff, and you're telling me that this new guy can come along and do what I did in 9 years? No, it can't happen, right? And that sense of feeling of entitlement that someone couldn't do what you're doing, or should I say even pride, is something that's going to make actually drive even further along to want to do it. Because she now wants to prove you that you're not the only guy who can get out there. Right? And so that lack of humility in that area due to his fear, and the fear is that of losing Ashley, the fear is of abandonment, the fear is of rejection, which is why even when he was talking to Shantae on her date, when she complimented him about his looks, he was like, what? No, you sure? Like, this guy was unsure about the looks. He knows he's good looking. But what happened when she started complimenting him? I told you the exact same thing he did with the other girls on a date. Right? He wants to confirm, lock it in, and then obviously then move on from there.
Ripped you? Yes.
For real? You know what? Sometimes I question myself.
Really?
Yeah, I was looking at this. I'm like,
But you seem very confident.
I am confident,
Okay.
but still, man.
Right? Now he knows obviously she finds him attractive, etc., etc. He feels good. Yeah, it feels good, right? He's not saying it to necessarily fish for more compliments. He just lacks in that area. That there's a lack of hearing those words of affirmation. Yeah, there's a lack of hearing that, and the fear of rejection again, right, plays a big part. And so, you know, when you see obviously at the very beginning when Hollywood says, you know, he doesn't want to go on no dates, but you know, and he's not really connected. For him, for her going on a date, it's a betrayal. And I'll be honest with you, if this was real world, I'll be like, listen, this can't run. This is not right. Why do you need to go on a date to prove to yourself or to him that you still care for him? It don't make sense. It's not needed, right? But it's a process, okay?
I was on a date and I had fun, but I really didn't care. I wanted to go back and be with my girl. And I don't want these girls to catch no feelings, because I ain't on here to catch feelings. I don't want to hurt her and I ain't want to hurt them.
Yeah, as I understand Hollywood, which is that if you go on several dates, you probably don't like them. And it's funny because obviously when Michael said he's going to go on a 5th date, both Hollywood and Vince made a face and then said, obviously, look, you know, blah, like, this guy is probably pretty much dating her, right? And the reason why is because of the way he views it. Now, again, I would view it like Hollywood did, which is like, why do you need to go on 4 or 5 dates? Like, doesn't make any sense. But this is the process, okay? This is the process. And as much as obviously he's deciding right now that he's not going to go on no dates because he doesn't want to lose his girl, it's like you're 2 years late, bro. It's like you're 4 years late, right? You should have done this when we were going to get married. This kind of energy should have come then, not now. So the energy you've come with now, where you're talking about, you know, I'm not going to go on no dates, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. It's like, yo, yeah, I hear you, but it's a bit late, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit late. It's a bit late because obviously, bro, like, that's what I needed from you. I needed that energy. I needed that vim. I needed that push way back.
Date and me being honest and letting him know that, yeah, you know, we do have a connection. We do have chemistry. That brought out an insecurity that I have never seen before. He doesn't get what I'm saying unless...
When we were about to get married, but you didn't give me that energy. Now you feel me slipping away. Now you know. Now you see me dating other people. Now you know, right? And it's almost like with the guys when we do this thing where you lose your girl and then you come to your senses like, oh, she was a good one. Nah, bro, you should have had that thought process that she's a good one when you were with her. Right? But this is not me to say anything. This is not me to say continue bad for Hollywood. I've got to stick it on Ashley a little bit because, girl, if you know you ain't feeling him no more, if you know that, you know what, you're not sure about the relationship, if you I mean, I think you already know that you're not sure about the relationship, but if you're thinking you're going to sit here and for the brother to let you go move mad, you know, because what we saw from next week's, next episode, you know, sis, I gotta be truthful and just say, listen, hey, like, this is a lot of pressure you put on the man. The man doesn't want you to date anybody because he's scared he's gonna lose you, right? And so I understand his position. I understand why he feels frustrated and feels hurt and feels like, you know what, she's gonna end up straying and feels like rejection will come out the corner. I can understand that. Right? But so when he's obviously talking to Shantae, this is really interesting. He's talking to Shantae and he admits to her, listen, look, if this breaks down me and my girlfriend, let me be very frank with you, I just want sex. And I had to commend him on that. Like, there's not a lot of guys that will come out there and tell you the truth, like, hey, look, I ain't gonna lie to you, I just want sex. Right? And I'm sure she probably was taken aback by that. She probably felt, thank you for the honesty, but I felt a little bit, I felt it was a little bit peak. Obviously, why you got to tell me the truth, like, right? Like, why do you have to tell me that you only want to have sex with me, like, kind of thing? But the truth of the matter is, he was truthful, right? She said, it's her red flag, and absolutely, ladies, take note. Guy tells you all he wants is sex. Hear him out. He only wants sex. Like, don't.
Mentioned to me that if he's not with Ashley, he just wants to sleep with girls. That was a red flag for me. But I get it. Because, you know, love hurts. I don't like him any less of a, you know, but I just won't be dating him. So.
Don't add to it. Don't try to spin it. He only wants sex. And, you know, Shantae, fair play to her, heard it and said, look, do you know what? It's a red flag for me. But, you know, and still had a good time, right? But that she knows already now, if she falls into anything, he already done said, it's only for sex. He's let you know from the jump. Okay? And, you know, on the girl date, the way that Ashley's talking about Kwame, you know, Ghanaians like myself, Kwame, Anyway, so like obviously the way she talks about Kwame, you can tell that there is an impression that has been left. Like, this girl's really considering her whole relationship. 9 years she's considering. And someone might say, why risk 9 years for this new guy you don't know? Well, because the 9 years haven't been as fruitful as they needed to be. You know, and so with Kwame, she gets on. She got the same energy she got with Hollywood, without the baggage, without the feeling of he did me dirty, without the feeling of, you know what, he let me down, without the feeling of he messed around and wasn't trustworthy at all times, wasn't dependable or reliable at all times. With Kwame, it's new. With Kwame, it's fresh. With Kwame, it's jokes and banter. With Kwame, it's an energy that we get back and forth. I love it. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? He's a good dude, but he's one. She described it as her soul being pulled. Do you know how deep that is?
Like immediate chemistry, like you don't even have to try.
Okay.
It's like that kind where you just feel like your soul is like pulling my soul. Like it's just a good feeling. That's how I
goes writing sonnets and Shakespeare plays. My girl said, listen, my soul is being pulled. What Hands on Gretel and Romeo and Juliet book is that, bruv? Yeah? What book is that has she been reading? You understand? That's a deep connection. That is why Hollywood is probably feeling the way he is. He's probably sensing this girl's pulling away so much that the insecurity is literally coming to the top, which we're going to talk about at the very end, right? And so she makes a comment here that her and Hollywood ain't doing it because he's so mad. Do you know what's going to happen? The change in behavior is going to make him think that something's going on. So unless they weren't having sex before, then it's not really any difference. But to obviously not having sex because obviously he's angry, you know, or she feels like he's mad or whatever about her dating. That's gonna make his insecurities even more, hyped up. Not saying that she, that she's wrong for not having sex or anything like that. I'm just saying, obviously, the fact that they're not doing it, that's gonna heighten the insecurity even more. It's like, why are we not doing it? We've been doing it. If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just alarm bells are ringing in my man's top and Ed. And it's going to cause him further insecurities. And so on the date with Kwame, what was really interesting was some of the words that were used, okay? He complimented her dress and then, said obviously then he made a comment in his confessional that it's a third date, we have feelings. This is why I'm saying, listen, I don't understand this whole go on dates. Someone's going to catch feelings. Someone's going to catch feelings. We're going on dates. You're telling me you're not going to catch feelings. Like, you're just using me for coin and using me for free food. Then yeah, of course you won't catch feelings. But if you're here genuinely wanting to be here, you're going to catch feelings. I remember I took a girl, and I said I still need to do the video on Jailbreak for you guys. But I remember I took a girl to a hotel, and I was like, blood, if I'd done this 1 or 2 times, this girl would have been a different girl. Like, you can still kind of get with, you had a bit of fun, we had a little bit of fun, everybody went about their business. But had it been 2 or 3 more times, could it have been more? Potentially. Because as you spend time with me, you're building connection with me. You're building emotional pathways to me. You're building mental pathways to me. Do you know what I'm saying? Eventually, it's going to become physical and then, sexual as well. But she's obviously, she wants to have kids in an orderly fashion. And, she's very, wants it to be structured in the right way. And I appreciate that as well, because that's always good. You want kids in a safe environment and the safety of a relationship that is stable, right? But on 2 occasions, she told him to start looking at her.
Look you in your eyes.
You feel like you're looking into my soul.
I'm glad.
I'm not.
Why?
Because I actually...
And the reason why is because when you look at people and you catch their eyes and you hold their gaze, it does something to you, you know. And so when you know, and you know how girls are when, you know, they're feeling the guy, they don't want to look at the guy because they're too shy to look at him because the person's so hot or whatever to them. This is what she's doing, right? This is what she's doing right now. If I'm Hollywood watching this, I'm shook earth. If I'm Hollywood watching this, I am shook earth. I'm definitely asking myself questions like, yo, have I really got a girl anymore? Because my girl is telling this guy, you know, stop looking at me because I like you. And she told him, I like you. Like, yo, brother, listen, it's deep in the streets. My girl told me that she likes him, okay? And so she said, obviously, you know, it's like you're looking into my soul, you know, and she had to tell him to stop because it was causing her to feel more feelings for him than she really wanted to. She was going to cross the boundary, right? The boundary that can't be taken back from.
Were you able to get to know her any better?
Yeah, my day was cool. I ain't gonna lie, it was the funniest date I ever had since I've been doing this process. And when I'm saying fun, is meaning the activity.
Okay.
And
You watched Nicole as Hollywood's answer a question. Actually doesn't look too happy. She's got her head down, you know, she's not really engaged. I think they might have had an argument before the time or whatever. Something might have happened. That's the reason why she's looking the way she was looking. She was looking forlorn, yeah? And so it didn't look like she was happy about the situation or whatever was spoken about previously. Maybe because of what happened with Kwame. We don't know. Maybe she spoke to him about what happened.
Are you okay with this?
anything that he's saying that he do, I do it 9 years later.
For Hollywood, seeing me go on a date and me being honest and letting him know that, yeah.
And so obviously we get Hollywood going on his mighty kind of rant where he talks about the fact that, you know, he's been doing this for 9 years. I've been doing this. I've been here. You don't know if he's going to be a serial killer, rah, 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 rah. And actually he's like, whoa, like, you're also a bit much, innit? And I think the reason why he's acting this way, again, is like I said, he senses that Ashley's pulling away from him. And when someone feels like something's being taken away from them, they try to cling on even tighter. And so therefore insecurity then kicks in, right? And then the odd behavior kicks in as well from that. You know, he said he's cool, but he's hurting. And at least he was very frank about it. It's cool, but I'm hurting. Yeah? And he said, obviously, you know, and again, what's interesting is the fact that the lack of wanting to find out what is the key issue here. Like, no, like, if I'm, like, that's what I'm saying, someone needs to, I don't know, Dr. Nicole, somebody grab him and say, listen, look, what is the reason why you're doing this, Ashley? How can we mend the situation? Because that's what's missing right now, right? The interventional piece of why she's doing what she's doing is what's missing, okay? And I don't think he's grasping what's happening in the scenario. I don't think he's grasping what's happening in the process. And the fact is, this girl wants to get you back for what you done to her.
What you mean? And I'm not trying to do it. I don't want to inflict that kind of pain. But now you understand what I was saying at the beginning.
It's as simple as that, you know? She wants him to feel the pain that she felt from 9 years ago. You know, and so I don't think he's going to get a straight answer get a reaction that he wants by being jealous or being insecure. He needs to ask a direct question. Ashley, what is it that I can do to... Because this is what I said to you about... This is what I said to you. This started way back. Remember in the car? And he was like, I already know what to do. And I was like, no, you don't, because you ain't asked her. Let her finish her point and tell you what she needs so that you can make a correct decision. Don't assume. Right? So for Ashley, she's using this whole thing as a teach me moment. She's going to teach you a lesson. Okay? Whether I agree with that, I don't agree with that, but she's going to teach him a lesson by using other people other dates even, to kind of speak to him and tell him to get back to a place where obviously he is authentically for her and fully for her by surrendering the pride and the ego to listen. Y'all, we need to listen, y'all, and find out what is it that she needs from you to make her comfortable. Right, so we saw this insecure side where he launched and got and this is where I think in the early episodes where she felt a little bit scared, or I shouldn't say scared per se, but felt apprehensive about sharing information, is the way he blows up. When he blows up, he really blows up, and that's not a safe space for someone like her. It's not a safe space for any woman to be in a place where you're not sure the predictability of your man. I'm not saying he's going to beat her or anything, but the predictability of your man to get aggressive, maybe verbally, or get in your face, etc. So, you know, I sympathize with Hollywood because I know, listen, bro, like, it could never be me. But I also sympathize with Ashley. That I know that she's in pain right now. Would she take Kwame over him? I doubt it. It's just not enough time to build good connections enough to be able to leave your 9-year relationship. But then again, we can be surprised. You know what I'm saying? She looks like he's gonna eat a banana off her lips next episode. So I don't know. I mean, again, guys, I don't know. What's your thoughts? Comment down below. Let us know what you think down below. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the what? Uploads. We appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded, guys.